Let's move on with our video series. I just noticed when looking at the last couple of videos that I never smile. So I suppose when you're alone, you don't smile to yourself. But since this is a video, I should maybe once in a while smile. So I'm going to try and do that a little bit, not to look too grim and as if this is no fun, which actually it is. So actually something I meant to do is give you an overview, which you should have done yourself as you open this, of the entire task here. So when we import, we wanted to upload, actually first download the files to the computer, then upload them to the R program, notebook navigation we just did. Now we're going to try to find the files. We're going to load the text files, find the files where they're supposed to be, load the text files, namely load them as R data structures. The data structure will be a data frame. Then we have to name it because we have loaded it in an unnamed way. Then we want to extract some values from the data frame. This is really what we always need to do. We look at particular column vectors, subset of the data in the data frame. Very rarely will we want all the data. And then to round it off, we're going to do a little plotting, which is the next part in the course. And at the very end, there's a research-focused exercise where you're supposed to complete a reference in the reference section at the very end. And the purpose here is for you to get to know the Creative Commons copyright. Anyway, let's close this again and look at finding files. This is a very short one. Find the files in practice, which is the folder we're in right now. That's where our files are. The question is, enter a command that will print the file names. That's the question. And this is a command that you know from DataCamp. The command is actually, there are different ones. One is called dir. It's the same command, incidentally, that you use in Windows, but not in Linux. And if you do that, I'm just going to put a little comment behind it because there is an alternative. The function list.files will also work. You should actually get into the habit, when you type a command, you type it for the very first time, just give yourself either a text box, but if you don't want to disturb the notebook integrity, just give yourself a little comment where you describe what this command is. So when you look at it again, you don't have to grope around and look at documentation. So let's take a look at that. And here's the answer. The function, and since I just said this, let's actually test this other command, list.files, and you see the command is here. And same answer. Yeah. So this is, you can see what this is clearly, 2 characters here, but I wanted to know, I want you to show the structure of the object you just created. Now, how do you do that? You can actually look at this and guess, or what you can do is use the structure command on the object. And the object you just created is a function output. So the proper answer is here. I'm going to make a little comment here. Structure of the last object created, the output of the function. So this would give the proper answer. And the answer is that's the next question. So you see the answer here. CHR stands for character. These are the index brackets, show that there are 2 elements, and then you see the elements themselves. If there were more than, 5 or 6 elements, you would see an ellipsis at the end, and they wouldn't all be listed. That's special about this generic structure function. A better way of doing this is, I'm just going to do this here for the sake of the video, is to say, well, this object, let's look at dir, let's just call it, D. And let's store the object without actually showing anything. There's no output here. And then in the next line, let's have a look at the structure of the. That makes it a little clearer. You see it's been defined, but the answer is going to be the same. So the question here is, what kind of data structure is this? You should write the complete technical name for this object in the text box below. And just as always, when I ask, we need a complete sentence. And so I try to put a complete sentence in here. You need to click on this text box. You see these are different text boxes, and click on the edit button, on the edit pen here, and then you can complete the sentence. So this dir creates a character vector, and if you want to make clear that the character is actually a keyword, you can use these apostrophes, but you don't have to. Creates a character vector of 2 elements. Each element, to be complete, is the name of a file in the current working directory. So that would be like the complete answer to this question. And that's enough for this video.